Hello, welcome to our CNMS study tip of the week. So, today we're going to just be talking a little bit about how to survive finals by working with three specific strategies. So, the first one is to map it out. We really advise you to get like a visual calendar somewhere, whether that's something digital that you are going to see every day, like, make it your phone background or your desktop background or something, or just have it up in a tab kind of on your device somewhere that you're going to be seeing a lot. Or you can make a printed version. You could even just draw a calendar, but just to kind of draw a little calendar of the month of May, because this is just an example, because then you'll be able to see, like, oh, those two exams are right next to each other. For instance, you can see here, this is just a completely hypothetical version that I've made, but the ninth and the 10th, there might be two exams next to each other there. And you might need to kind of think, oh, I need to space out my studying a little bit. Um, or, I've got that bio final exam on Friday the 17th, but then I've got chem on Tuesday the 21st. So I can spend, more time the week of the 13th working on bio, and then really take that weekend to work on my chem and that philosophy paper that's due on Wednesday the 22nd. But, I need to be working in a little bit of chem to kind of keep myself fresh. So it's just really helpful to kind of get a handle on when everything is happening visually. This just really helps a lot of people kind of plan better. Okay, the next tip is to work backwards. So, using your map there that you've made of, the month, work backwards from each exam or each due date, and make a checklist of things you need to review in order of priority, and then schedule them. So, I've got an example here you can see on the other side of the screen. Unit 3, let's say in chem, for instance, let's say it was broken up into 3 units, your chemistry class. This is, again, hypothetical, but you can kind of use this as a baseline of how to plan out your studying by working backwards. So let's say unit 3 was the unit you struggled with the most in this chemistry class. So the first thing you need to do is, review each section. Then you're going to redo each quiz. Then you're going to use the textbook for extra practice problems in your weakest units after you grade each redo of each quiz, because you'll get a sense for like which units you are, or specific modules you are weaker at or stronger at. And I'm not telling you that this is exactly the map you need to follow for this unit. This is just a hypothetical plan. So you'll come up yourself with the strategies, the specifics of what the revision of Unit 3 is going to look like for you. And so then let's say maybe Unit 1 is your second weakest spot in this chemistry class. So maybe, you're going to redo the quizzes you scored poorly on, and then use the practice problems for weak spots in a similar way to the way you did it in Unit 3. And then let's say Unit 2 is your best unit. So you're just going to redo the one quiz you scored poorly on and do your practice problems if needed. So here you're kind of triaging the course. You're going through the same motions for each unit in terms of what you're reviewing. You're just doing probably more in Unit 3. You're going to spend more time on that. You're probably going to start with that. And when I say work backwards, I say, work backwards from when your exam is or when your assignment is due, and think about how much time you have to devote to that class, and really schedule in some sessions for studying for this review, and kind of decide how you want to break it up. So you're going to be really heavy on Unit 3, but you're also going to want to hit Unit 1 and Unit 2 kind of in there, maybe towards the beginning of that study block, just because you want to make sure that that gets reviewed as well. And then you might want to go back and do some more on Unit 3. This is just an example, but try to work backwards and kind of, piece together what you need to do and schedule it out specifically. So here are some specific strategies you can use. You can do these things alone or in a study group, and we really recommend both. So the first is DIY test. So make a final exam, obviously a hypothetical final exam, using practice problems, or maybe problems from previous tests or quizzes, and pretend you're the professor. Like, say, okay, well, what did I focus on a lot this semester, and what do I think is important? Um, and then take the test. So make sure you've got an answer key handy. Um, but yeah, go ahead and actually take that test and see kind of how you do. And you and a friend can each make your own and then swap, or you can make it together and then kind of take it together. We do recommend working on problems with other people. One thing you could do is to redraw it. So if you've got important charts and diagrams, for instance, in your textbook, try to redraw them from memory and then check yourself using the slides or textbook and correct it. This is really helpful, and if you, especially if you're a visual learner, if you like to kind of study the figures a lot, this really helps for a lot of folks just to kind of get better understanding of what's kind of going on in these processes that you're trying to learn. And then the third strategy is use the learning objectives. This is a strategy that we really talk about a lot. And when CNMS Advising makes study guides for you all, we often use the learning objectives from your slides from your professors to actually create those study guides. But you can do this yourself too. Just collect the learning objectives from the lecture slides or the textbook. You can copy and paste them into a Google Doc or a Word document, and then just try to answer them without study aids and correct yourself when you're done. So go back to the slides or the textbook, whatever you kind of use most and whatever you think will be most useful, and correct yourself to kind of fill in the gaps. And you can literally just sit there and like type out a summary for each learning objective if you're copying and pasting these. It's really helpful. So that's the end of our tip video for this week. Thanks so much for watching, and we hope this was really helpful for you.